Implant Outsource, Mondays on CNT.
Impotent Rage, the liberal superhero.
He'll save the day for straight all day.
Impotent Rage.
Tax the rich, rob the poor, even though he funnels money offshore.
Impotent Rage.
Get eco awards in a jet plane.
We're sacrificing together. I feel your pain.
Impotent Rage.
Eat organic, recycle, or I'll have a fit.
He's a judgmental hypocrite.
Union entitlements rule. Ban God in school. Smack for junkies. Welfare for flunkies.
Impotent Rage, the liberal superhero.
I just care too much.
What do we want? Less work. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Hand job.
Everyone, get back to work. What the hell is this? Get back to work.
Impotent Rage. Impotent Rage. Impotent Rage. Impotent Rage. No, 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 no. Impotent Rage. 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 Safety first.
Hey, fellas. What's going on here?
Oh, Impotent Rage!
Thank God you're here.
We're being oppressed by an evil corporation.
Our bosses want us to actually work.
It won't guarantee us 200% raises.
Summer Fridays off and pensions for life after retiring at 37.
Why?
That's outrageous.
But we're going out of business if we don't make some changes. They want free snacks, massages, and raises every year. And most of them go on disability with full pay anyway.
You revolting chiselers, you!
They're trying to fire me for sleeping at my desk.
You were drunk! Why, you would be too! He's just deadening the pain inside from being trapped as a mediocre cog in the dead-end machine of capitalism. But he's the CFO! I said American workers should be able to retire at age 35 and receive health care! And a salary for life on your dime. Otherwise, what's the point?
That's impossible. That's not how economics work. Don't you understand? I'm extremely rich.
I understand how economics work and what the working class needs. They want a six-pack of beer, an eager girl in their pickup truck, and a depressing folk tune playing on the radio. This here's a free country, boy. Free, but with thousands of rules and regulations to keep greedy corporations like you in line. If you don't like it, move to China.
But because of the free trade agreement, that's where we'll have to move the company if we don't want to go out of business. We just want a sensible discussion of the issue.
Oh, you're nothing short of a disgrace. If peaceful protest won't change your mind, we're going to have to solve this the old-fashioned way. With mind-bending, liberal, impotent rage! A victory for the working man! My work here is done.
But our workplace is destroyed.
Ah, hell, go on welfare. Kick back, get a six-pack and relax. You deserve it after all this work.
We just want to work.
Braxton Industries, headed by billionaire liberal playboy Braxton Hunter, recently celebrated the closing of another highway to install more bike lanes and collective urban farms. Braxton recently returned from a trip to Antarctica on his private jumbo jet, where he'd been to accept an environmental award. Some critics say that Hunter is also the caped superhero Impotent Rage because they look exactly alike and have the same voice, and Impotent Rage tends to show up right after Mr. Hunter quietly sneaks out. He has emphatically denied they are the same person. A hero of the liberal media, others say Hunter is a rich, entitled asshole with too much time on his hands.
What? I am not a rich entitled asshole with too much time on my hands. Woo, baby! Now that is one productive day's work. I'm gonna go home and do some yoga, drink some wheatgrass, and go to my favorite farmer's market.
Good morning, Braxton. You look great. You've got a bunch of voicemail messages.
From who?
Uberman.
Uberman! My arch nemesis! I hate that right-wing bully!
Hey, Impotent Rage, you pathetic hypocrite. I was just eating some whale sashimi and a manatee steak when my thoughts turned to you. Dumb, slow vegetarians whom the state will no longer protect. See you around, schmucko.
Oh, do I hate that man? Do I despise him?
Braxton, there. I know a way to calm you down. Something wet and relaxing that you'll really like.
Oh, a flaxseed smoothie. You've got a great idea, baby.
Braxton, I need to tell you something. I'm in love with you. I want you to take me, rip my clothes off, and thrust yourself inside me. Sometimes I feel like you don't even notice I'm here.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? Oh, it's okay, it's okay. I get emotional about this stuff too, Violet. The environment, marriage rights, hemp clothing, recycling, placenta cakes. You know, I became a liberal at a very young age. My parents were... Violet, we're about to start the flashback sequence, so please wiggle back and forth for me now.
Okay.
My parents moved here as immigrants from Vice City and built a huge empire, exploiting people mercilessly. My father made a fortune strip mining, whaling, dumping toxic pollution, and marketing tobacco. He was a womanizer. And much more interesting than me, he belittled me constantly. And then he died before he could write me out of his will. And so I became the majority shareholder in a huge multinational company. I traveled the world. I joined lots of NGOs and did what any other impossibly rich, sexually confused rich kid does. Became a superhero. Through the art of self-meditation, yoga, and a freak green energy accident, which gave me unnatural godlike powers, I became Impotent Rage, 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 Rage. Wait, what's that?
What is it?
It's my echo sense going off. That man isn't recycling.
Hey, Neanderthal! Do you know what century it is? Recycle that soda can, or I'll come down there and teach you a lesson you won't forget in a hurry! I can't stand being disrespected like this!
Braxton, quick, to the anger room.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. All the self-righteous posturing. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. What is it? High-tech device of the future I personally invented, even though I am otherwise entirely incompetent?
Impotent Rage, there's some trouble down by the river.
Fascism never sleeps. Violet!
I'm over here.
Of course you are. Why are you wearing that ridiculous outfit?
I thought superheroes run around in their underwear, so should their assistants. I thought you would like it.
Violet, it's that kind of hyper-sexualized clothing that exploits and demeans women.
Fuck me.
Fuck me! Time for Impotent Rage! Where is it?
Here.
For the record, this is an organic, entirely fair trade cotton one piece that is dyed in berry juice, harvested by a lesbian commune. And it's every bit as effective at fighting crime as the synthetic fibers made popular by some of my rivals. Quick, to the suit-up montage!
Braxton?
What's this?
That's the cost to animate your overly elaborate and lengthy suit-up montage.
Got it. Okay, skip the montage. Let's go straight to Impotent Rage!
Impotent Rage!
There are over 8 million species of migratory birds that travel through San Andreas. But every day, hundreds of thousands of birds are slaughtered by a not-so-silent predator, windmills. So-called environmentalists' desperate need to destroy our state's indigenous oil industry will lead to noisy, nature-killing windmills literally in your backyard. At San Andreas Water and Power, we're working with state and local officials to make sure that windmills and solar panels don't ruin our pristine environment. Let's keep the power on. Nature, and in particular our beautiful birds, will thank you. Nothing is more dangerous for a bird than a slow-moving windmill. They, like any half-sentient creature, much prefer 100-acre industrial plants spewing out noxious chemicals. Let's all work together to preserve our environment. San Andreas Water and Power.
No! Page, we're getting you a bleeder account, and I want you posting all kinds of stupid, annoying opinions, okay?
No more fracking! No more fracking!
No more fracking! No more fracking!
What's going on here?
These protesters want to stop us from fracking!
You conservatives!
Always trying to stop loving people from fracking! What century are you living in? If these three men want to frack each other,
What business is it of yours?
if these two want to spit roast this guy, why do I care?
What? But they want to drill really deep and make a mess.
Why, they say that's the joy of fracking. Why, I'll bet this happy fellow is a top. I say what? Fracking is what makes the world go round. Everyone is free to frack who they want, what they want, and where they want. I myself would frack all the time if it weren't that my superpowers have adversely affected my fracking prowess. Oh yeah! I do love big, delicious penises. You have to help us, impotent rage. We're being oppressed.
I've had about enough of your Stone Age outrage! You angry conservatives are all pent-up homosexuals yourselves!
Hey, but we're not conservatives, we're protesters. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?
There! That should sort things out for everyone. You just keep on fracking, boys. Does anyone want a photo for their Life Invader page? I really do exist. And I prove not all closeted rich guys are creepy.
Oh, impotent rage. You're such an ignoramus.
Uberman! You littering pig!
I was wondering when you turn up.
Oh, my suit is so fancy. This suit is actually pleasuring me right now. Oh, who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Yang! You've worked yourself up into such a liberal lather that you actually ended up helping the opposition. These are natural gas wells that pollute the environment, not 3 old queens into P&P.
What? Oh, no, what have I done? Maybe I'll donate some money to charities. Build a statue of a kid in a wheelchair? That will clear my conscience.
I've come to save the day again. From you. The common herd needs a genetically superior synthetic fiber-clad sociopath lunatic to look up to. Not a soy latte sipping dweeb with a flaccid... Well, you get the point. But first, I'm off to drill some oil wells in environmentally sensitive wetlands. Goodbye, impotent rag.
No! I must stop him. To the impotent mobile electric car! Initiate solar panel sequence right away! Oh, God! Damn it! I hate you! Why must the conservatives always win?
This is America. Our fires burn bright, especially in the trash barrels that keep people warm, or after a riot because there's no jobs. America is hurting. We're at each other's throats, wondering if this country can ever come back from the abyss while bankers loot the coffers. The thing about steel, it's hot and cold at the same time, like a woman. Lady Happiness. We made the problems, and we're solving them together, because we're in this together, which is why it's only right you're paying for the mistakes we made together. Subpar cars and overly entitled executives.
Plays in their survival. You see, family is important, people, and everyone in this school is like family, and that's why we don't sleep with each other, as incest is just icky.
Mr. Hitzman, did you really mean what you said?
Oh, yes. Crickets do talk, and they love waiting for that special person to make baby crickets with in a creative and loving way. Now, one day, when I've mastered my inappropriate longings, I hope to meet an understanding Mrs. Hitzman and have some little baby Hitzmans running around. We'd probably get a Manny to play with them and help out around the house a bit. Perhaps he would be a strapping German boy with brown shirt and big muscles and an enigmatic laugh that said more than words ever could. And then in summertime, he'd work topless, his Aryan sweat producing a glimmering sheen off his sizable...
No, about the end of the world.
Oh, yes, of course, but you guys are going to stop it. Observe Wickenburg Canyon High, state-funded.
Oh my God, ew!
There are some very dark things going on there in the name of so-called science. In fact, our recent intel tells us they are harvesting souls. That's right. Millions of little souls called stem cells. Now, Team Stem Cells are harvested from a pregnant woman's belly button near that smelly, disgusting hole thing they have down there.
Is that called a vagina?
Yuck! Don't even say it! I believe the male member is much more elegant and surprising. Why, one time, I was playing a game of sword fights with my
Sir!
You can own an incredible, genuine gourd.
Yes, we have to stop them. You see, they want to build a mutant army and give people extra arms and legs so they can win at football and fondle your wives and daughters at the same time.
Really?
Really? Hey, where's Dirk?
Hey, team! Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force, yeah!
Dirk?
Oh, yeah, sorry I'm tardy. I'm just so full of school spirit, you know? Parvenu Hills rules, woo!
That's okay, Dirk. You're good at sports, so we turn a collective blind eye to your remedial level reading skills.
I can't read.
I know you can't. Lack of basic manners, mistreatment of classmates, and the fact that you're 25 years old and have yet to come close to graduating.
Oh, thank you, Hillary. I mean, Mr. Hitzman.
Yes, I was just telling the team about some of the terrible stuff that's been going on at Wickenburg.
Wickenburg can suck my nutsack, them boners!
Really? Can they? I mean, that won't be necessary, Dirk. Unless it would save America.
Now that would be controversial.
Maybe we should teach the controversy, Sebastian.
Atheists don't like that, sir. They like to present unproven theories made up by degenerates and transsexuals wearing dresses they call lab coats as if they're facts. Just like the fact that America is God's own country and our destiny is made manifest just like the earlier settlers did when they gave smallpox to the heathens so they could meet God quicker.
Very good, Quota.
Thank you, sir. I hope to one day be elected president, but based on my ability and integrity, not some liberal agenda which loves Muslims.
What a nice, noble, kind ambition. Although I hope to high hell it never comes true.
Me too, sir. I think I'll stick to basketball and making people feel uncomfortable when I talk to their daughter. I still don't have a date for the prom.
Oh, that's my boy. And I do mean boy in the most non-offensive way possible. Now, back to Wickenburg. I need you to do some reconnaissance. Listen closely. Here's what I'm thinking.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force! Kung Fu Laser Rainbow Force!
No! Reconnaissance. Go in your school clothes and report back.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
Oh my god, it's like a bomb went off. I know.
These people only have one home. How repulsive.
I imagine some of them share toilets. The very idea of putting my bottom where someone else's bottom has been. Ew, 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 ew.
Hey, knock it off. We gotta keep an eye out for the enemy.
I ain't scared of them. Handout kids and pregnant girls. They can clean my butthole.
Game? Louisa, what are you doing here?
Who's she?
One of our house cleaners.
This is where I live.
Here? This slum?
This is a nice neighborhood. Besides, you only pay me $15,000 a year.
Now, Louisa, shame on you-o. Don't go asking for handouts. My family has worked hard for what they've got. Why don't you take the rest of the week off without pay and think about this little incident?
You're terrible.
Why do you say that?
You should have just fired her on the spot. Giving her time off, she'll do what all poor people do. Abuse drugs and have another kid. And I mean that compassionately. Oh my God! Look at that! Mortal sin at 3 o'clock.
Hey! Stop right there!
What's your problem?
We're heterosexual virgins and you're our problem!
What? Why?
Don't push your luck, kid. I know how it goes. You start by holding her hands. Then it's a trip up and down the bases, fingering the tush. Then you fire off a big home run, and before you know it, you got a kid on your hands who's gonna live his whole life in prison.
Yeah, spending my parents' tax dollars.
We were only holding hands.
I bet you smoke pot. Poor people love the pot.
No, I have asthma, thank you.
I bet you pleasure yourself.
Sometimes, but what's that?
And what's this?
Pornography! Ah, amputee pornography!
That is a statue from the museum from the Renaissance. What are you talking about?
You fool! Museums are the worst. Subsidized dens of sin, leading people astray. My father says we should stop subsidizing decadent culture and start supporting things that really matter. Like the oil industry.
I think we already do that.
Shut up, pervert! He wants to chop your arms off and have sexual intercourse with you.
We have pledged to wait, and your indecency has just offended these lovely, impressionable girls.
Yeah!
I'm just a teenage boy.
You're a degenerate.
You're a dickhead.
Say that again.
We were only holding hands, but we have made out once.
No!
Look, I don't want a kid yet, and I have masturbated. So what? You are dickheads.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force! He was leading you astray.
And we saved you from a life of vice.
And prostitution and picking up cigarette butts looking for a fix if she isn't a streetwalker already.
Are you?
What?
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
Well, we saved those kids from unnatural desires.
It's true that sometimes the only way to manage teenage sex is by acts of extreme violence.
Which is good because violence is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Ew, this whole place smells so yucky.
Well, that's because we're near the school. Look, they're starting their spirit rally.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Something's wrong. My body's going through some changes.
I noticed.
I have these desires, and I can't control them.
Me too.
Desires to kill everyone in a violent, testosterone-fueled rage. My voice is changing, and I can shoot laser beams out of my eyes. Look! Feel my wrath, whore!
Let's get back to base. We need to regroup. Zoe? Don't make me smite you.
Yes, smite me.
Kung Fu Rainbow Laser Force!
Team, that is the spirit. It's so good to see young people motivated in a positive way. Oh my, what happened to you guys?
It was horrible, Mr. Hitzman. The girls weren't wearing pants.
Please, the vapors are enough to kill a man. Do you hear me, Zoe and Tallulah? You've been cursed.
No!
Now, gather round. I have a plan. During tomorrow night's game, you sneak into the science wing of Wickenburg High, rescue the stem cells, and set them free in the forest, saving America in the process.
What's a plan?
Pay no attention to that now, Dirk, for it is time for the grand finale!
Farmington Hills Academy rules! Game on, Kung Fu Laser Girls, you hosers. You think you can defeat our alternative agenda quite so easily? Well, while you're out harvesting stem cells, we shall be harvesting you, eh? Ow!